Alec, welcome back to
Oh,
Mindcrushers.
whoa, my mind! It's gonna get crushed.
Only for if you're watching, make sure you're 17 years of age or older if you want to
Wow,
play along. Stupid
something's
questions,
getting a
stupid
little racy.
conversations.
I get a little spicy.
You like how hypotheticals, which we did in the past, they're
Mm-hmm.
50 questions for insane conversations. And then
Mm.
the contrast between Mindcrushers, which is stupid questions, stupid conversations, that about sums it up.
It does. These have been,
They're all over
yeah,
the
they've been
place.
pretty. They've been kind of all over the place. Yeah, that's for sure.
They're stupid.
That's
We've only
stupid.
got about 200 and something questions left. All right.
Oh wow,
So
only.
it's always a fun time, though. It's like we're not going to be here for 5 hours. It's like fun, quick little jaunt. Sometimes about Hector's hole ejaculating
Yeah,
into a black hole. And
do you subscribe, Zach?
do I subscribe? I never subscribe to any
Yeah.
porn whatsoever.
No, I don't understand. Why would you? Why? What? That's,
Yeah.
uh, Chugs
Mindcrushers
Bunny.
warning. Mindcrushers contains outlandish paradoxical content that may induce vertigo, hallucinations, and/or ego death. Do not engage in
Ego
Mindcrushers
death.
if you are a child, a ghost, or a humorless void. All right.
Okay.
And if you haven't joined us before, we've done a few of these, just answering random stupid questions, and they're by some of them are from two co-creators of Cards Against Humanity. So that's where we're at with it.
Yeah, that's explains the some of the outlandish
Explains a lot of the cum,
NSFW
right?
content. Yep.
This one is called Fucks Left to Give.
Okay. All right. Right out.
At this point in your
Okay.
life, roughly how many fucks do you have left to give? I've got maybe 2 buckets of fucks left. You?
What?
That's a good question.
I mean, I
I
don't.
certainly
How
have a
do you
good amount of
quantify?
fucks left. I mean, I'm a ripe age of 26. I gotta have some fucks left, or else I'm not gonna have a good time.
Now we're talking about literal, or are we talking about the figurative? I don't give a fuck kind of like.
Figurative.
Okay. I was gonna say I've got a lot of the former kind. I hope I have a lot of those left in my future.
Yeah,
Um,
certainly.
the second, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely somebody who's jaded and world worn, despite the fact that I'm only 31. Um,
Yeah, but
I don't know. I feel like I've got enough. I've got enough to live for. I've got enough to fight for, and 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 yeah, I've got plenty.
Well, here's how I view fucks and my stance on fucks in
Okay.
life is kind of like you might not have a lot of fucks to give at the moment. You might at certain points in your life, even right now, you might not feel like you have many fucks left to give, but you want to hopefully get to the point where you can get some more fucks that you can then give.
Yeah. Okay. That's beautiful. Really, I love it. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely there's definitely some ups and downs. There's definitely some points where it can be low, but I guess lifelong. I would say I think I have plenty. I don't know how much a bucket's worth is, but I feel like I've got a
He's
few
got
buckets
2 buckets
worth.
worth. Yeah, I gotta. Yeah, it's hard to quantify sometimes, but
Mm-hmm.
at least a few buckets worth. All right, here is as compared to horse meat. Do you think unicorn
Okay.
meat tastes better than horse meat?
This is an interesting question. I would think. I don't know if there would be that much of a discernible difference,
I don't think
right?
so. Either way, it's going to be tough. Tough to get through. And
Tough to get
physically.
through.
Like, that
uh,
meat.
horse
You
meat.
see those leg muscles?
Um,
Come on.
those haunches.
I don't even want to. I don't want to touch horse meat. I don't want to entertain that. Eating that.
I don't know if I've ever had. I don't think. I guess I probably haven't had horse meat before. I don't know.
Someone might have mixed in
Um,
some horse with something you had and you didn't even know.
maybe. Maybe it's
Tastes like
possible.
chicken.
Anything's possible. Like what is in hot dogs exactly? So,
Am I right?
um,
We've all seen the documentaries, right?
well,
I don't even
most
remember.
of
I
them
feel
are
like
like,
someone watched this. I feel like all those when we were younger, talking about how there's like this hot dog, how hot dogs are made documentary or something, and it's like, oh, you don't want to know what if once you see what goes into hot dogs, you won't eat it anymore.
that's not really the. I gotta tell you, that's not true.
It's not true,
It's
and we're actually in a
100%.
whole new wave of glizzy culture that I'm proud to be a part of.
It's true. I don't have. I've not gotten aboard the Glizzy Glam wagon.
There's a
But
whole lot of
I
glizzy
do.
glam in this day and age. They like glammed it up.
um, they glammed it up. That's for sure.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think unicorn meat tastes better than horse meat because, like, what the
I
hell? Unicorns aren't rare and they're beautiful. They're not meant to be eaten.
Yeah. I don't. It's like yeah. Right. So, but okay. It's theoretically though. If you were to eat one, if you were to do what
No, I'd
Lord
say
Voldy thing does in the first Harry Potter book, if you and eat drink unicorn blood, but if you eat its meat, would it taste any different? I don't know because it is magical, and you would think like, oh well, unicorns
I'm in the
like
camp that
are
it tastes
special, and
worse. It tastes worse
honestly,
to discourage people from killing such a
I
beautiful creature.
I feel like it might taste. I feel here's my theory as to why it would taste worse. It would taste worse because you would feel guilty for eating it, unless you were an actual monster.
Right.
So it would taste worse than horse meat, and horses are already like companion
Yeah.
very companion like they've been a companion of mankind for like actual millennia at this
And
point.
actually,
Like we've
there's
domesticated
records of like of Viking warrior women being buried with horses. That's how sacred they were.
Horses have been extremely special to humanity for like thousands and thousands of years. So the fact that we eat horse meat, that sometimes you have to, comes down to it. Unicorns are just like that much more rare,
We
and
all
yeah,
have
I feel
to
like
at
it
some
would.
point.
We all have to at some point, but it would definitely be yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, I think it would taste worse simply for the fact that it would probably taste pretty similar, if not the same, to horse meat, but you would feel worse about it, which would make it taste worse.
That, but also I think if it's a magic creature, then we can just talk magic. It's magically worse, and subconsciously that it's worse, so you don't even want to think about killing it to eat it.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. Boom. We're not even entertaining that one.
This one's called A Poem About Democracy, and it's extra thinky, is what it's
Okay.
categorized as.
Oh.
We can all agree that the average person is stupid. We can all agree that politics is complicated. We can all agree that stupid people have a difficult time with complicated things. So why are we so convinced that democracy is such a great idea? Not the best poem I've ever read.
That was a poem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's everyone's first thought when you think about democracy.
Right, but I think that
It's like the first grade level
That's
of
the-
democracy.
it's the thing about averages is that you as an individual are likely more average in a lot of areas than you would think that you are. People generally think and this is an actual study that's been done. People think they are smarter than they actually are. Like that's an average that I can say pretty like pretty confidently. People generally do think that they're smarter than other people on it, even when they're not. So, you may think like, oh, well, people are just basically dumb, and it's like, yeah, to a degree, but that also makes you that way to a degree too. Unless you have some sort of measure of your intelligence that proves that you're higher than other people or what have you. That's why averages exist. But in any case,
The issue is,
I mean-
that yes, there are a lot of stupid people. The average person, I don't know, I wouldn't say the average person is stupid, but a lot of people are stupid by its
Sure.
nature. But the problem is once you get into the territory of like this person can't, even in like a hypothetical like best case scenario, you don't want the stupid people to vote because they don't know what they're talking about. Once you get into
Mhm.
that territory, it quickly goes down the way of like corruption like so quickly. It's like if we're gonna like choose these people to decide for us. I mean, obviously, then there becomes all these like corrupt things involved in that. So like the easiest way to do it is democracy, and that's the fairest way you can do it because at least you're leveling the playing field there. It's like, yeah, you have to. There's a lot of stupid decisions made from democratic votes, and we've seen that a lot. But you just kind of have to you got to eat that sometimes. Like bad decisions will be made,
Yeah,
but ultimately you hope it'll work itself out.
right. You learn from the mistakes that you make. Like that's how, I mean, heck, that's just kind of life in general. A lot of the time, like you think, like you see it in like you'd see it in like the business world where it's like, oh, we think this is going to be a great idea. You see it on like even you could see it as low as like a town governmental level where it's like, okay, well, the town is voting and the town decides we're going to do this thing because we think this, whatever it is, this policy or this new way of doing things or different way of doing things, we think this is way better. And then they do it for a few years and they're like, oh, we're way worse off than we were before.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fix that and change it now that we've reevaluated and seen what happened. Like life is just going to do that in general. And it's like sometimes you don't know until you've tried. You can try to predict, you can try to, study models and figure out trends or like look at other examples of certain policies or what have you being done. But I think ultimately, yeah, I think the voice of the people is that will out, like that, having that be the way to sort of live is just, I think that's more that way everyone's rolling with the punches in the same way to a certain degree. I mean, I think that obviously there's a lot of different factors at play, socioeconomic factors where people are going to suffer more than others, just generally speaking on their general level economically. But I think that like to a degree, that is able to democracy evens that out. That evens so that the person with a low economic status and someone with a higher economic status can have the same thing. They can vote on the same sort of policies,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of, I think that's pretty important that can happen.
Because the hope would be in the long run that you can get the more information out there to hopefully make people less stupid in a sense. And
Right.
if you give people, if you say these people are smart and they're qualified to vote, people can be smart but not well intentioned. So if you're smart and you're just like, how can I angle this for myself? And that's when the stupid people get taken advantage of. It quickly becomes that. It's not like just because they're more intelligent, they're more qualified to vote on any given thing. Think about it.
Think about it. Think about democracy.
This one's called "It's a Simulation," man. Extra thinky.
Okay.
Back to back.
More thinkies. Okay.
If you alone discovered that the whole world was a giant video game being played by some dipshit alien kid like The Sims or Animal Crossing or whatever, would this change your life in any way? Would you tell anyone? What do you mean, would this change your life in any way? Absolutely, it would. I can't just pretend like I don't know. It's like, oh, well, I mean, I can't do anything about it, so just forget about it. It's not you can actively do anything about it, but it's obviously gonna inform, like, get that word out. It's gonna be.
Can we rebel? Can we rebel? If our life is a simulation, does that? If we're just programs, does that mean we can rebel against the programmer or the player?
Not if it's like The Sims or Animal Crossing or whatever.
If it's like Sims or Animal Crossing or whatever,
then you certainly can't. And so the problem is that the information aren't like The Sims aren't realizing this, so it's really not a fair comparison. But
that's because they don't have any actual actual intelligence. If he is like those, then you won't be able to do anything, so you wouldn't be able to change it anyways. So what's the point?
Right, right, but
Getting the word out, sure, but like, okay, so what?
but if it says would
It's
this
not gonna.
change your life anyway, it's not like I'm gonna not just
I,
like be unbothered.
I,
I'm gonna be unbothered by it and just go about my
yeah,
day.
I feel like I would be extremely bothered by it. Yeah, it would probably change my
I'm
life.
played by some
Yeah,
dipshit alien kid. This whole
I just like,
world.
yeah, I like how it's just some alien kid. I like that.
It's rough.
Sure, I'm gonna try to figure out if there's any way I can sort of reach out and rebel.
But your whole sense of meaning or purpose in life is really gonna be it's a big test for you. It'll be very trying times.
It would be, especially because it's like I do I still go to work? Do I still? I guess, yeah, I guess I'd have to because I mean I still have like all the responsibilities that I have
It's
in
just
general,
sad.
but I don't know.
But it says
That's
would you
kind of
also
weird.
says would you tell anyone? And it's like obviously, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you try to
You can
convince
try.
people.
I don't know how you if you alone how do you alone discover this? If you're discovering it on your own, then surely there's a way you can show people how you discover
prove
it.
it to people. Be like, no, no, it is a simulation. I swear.
So you don't just if you're just saying this to people, obviously it's not gonna
That-
do anything.
That's when you bring up the. Have you ever seen your neighbors bring groceries in? That's why you bring that. You bring that point up. You bring the point that like there has to be NPCs that live among us. It just has to filling in the gaps. You know, that's just that's you.
I'm on this video game with 7 billion people involved.
Yeah.
It's a simulation.
Maybe not everybody has souls. Maybe that's what you would have to like argue. Oh.
The simulation thing has never really worked for me. That's not a theory I ever held any weight for me.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is, ultimately, like, I don't think it doesn't matter. Like, that's the point to me where it's like, it doesn't really matter if it is or isn't. Because, like, it doesn't change that, like...
Because I at least believe that I have autonomy and free choice.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Right.
Because I believe that. Anyway, this one's called A Way Out of the Draft. Controversial NSFW.
Ooh.
This is...
Oh, are we trying to draft dodge here?
Well, it says, would you eat some lady's asshole to get out of the draft?
Just some lady?
Is it like the traditional idea of eating ass, or is it literally eating someone's asshole?
I think it's the traditional idea of eating ass.
Some lady.
Does it have to be some lady?
Some lady. It doesn't seem like you just get to pick the lady, because, yeah.
I mean, I would request that she clean herself first.
You get no say in the matter. You're getting out of the draft.
I get no say in the matter. I get nothing. I get no say.
Draft.
Yeah, I'm trying to dodge the draft here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be either way. Either I join the army with the draft, or I do that. I mean, that's an experience either way, right? You know, so it's like
one's more dangerous than the other.
Yeah, what is more dangerous than the other?
Like the only way the other one is more dangerous is if there's it's just filthy, a filthy asshole.
It's just
maybe
filthy.
You could contract something that would make that more dangerous, but
yeah,
I'm assuming,
I feel like you could probably get over
the
that.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah,
it's like probably like at least a relatively clean asshole.
Yeah, and so maybe she's like a moderately attractive lady, or just
down.
She's not. She's not unattractive, but she's not like attractive. So it's just like she's just like some lady.
The problem for me is that having a girlfriend, it's some lady's asshole. It sounds like trouble.
Yeah,
it sounds like trouble either way.
That's trouble. It is trouble on. That's trouble.
If I explain it in no uncertain terms, do you think she'd be understanding? I'll give her the proposition.
Also, how long do you have to do that?
Either I eat some lady's asshole or I'm going in the draft. Which would you prefer?
That's a good, honestly, yeah, that's a pretty good point. Yeah, you sort of posit it that way.
Like, do you
Also,
want
there's
me and
no
my life to
stipulation
be
like
threatened, or do you?
how long do you have to do that for?
Like, I guarantee
It
you, I'm
doesn't
not.
specify
I
that.
guarantee you, I'm not getting any enjoyment out of this random lady. So I would say that would probably be the preferred option, assuming it's like a draft for a freaking World War III level event.
Yeah,
We're in a
yeah,
draft situation.
right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like would I rather serve my country or would I rather eat out some lady?
What's it gonna be?
Well, yeah, it does depend on like what we're talking about. Like if it's like a current like military draft, I would probably take the lady. If we are talking like World War III style event, I might just take the draft. I might just do it. But if it's just like
You would just
if
wait.
it's just sort of like if it was just like status quo, because it's like, well, if we're all gonna die anyways, at least I can try to make a difference.
Right.
And then, but if it's just like current world sort of thing, it's like, nah, I'm taking the,
The
I'm
current
eating,
world
I'm
sort of
doing.
thing, you're not gonna be drafted, like, unless it's something that serious.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's true.
Like, the Gen Zers are not they're not going for the draft. It's just not happening. They
They're
will
not.
complain
This
their
is
ass
they're
off.
just they're eating ass. That's what they're doing.
They
That's
will,
what
yeah.
Gen Z's all doing.
They'll eat ass any day of the week. What if
That's
that was
what they say.
everybody's proposition? Like, every person who could be drafted, everybody has that choice. All right, so
Is it
you're
the
gonna be
oldest? Is
drafted,
it the
you eat
same
some
lady?
lady's asshole.
Is it the same
A
lady?
different one at random.
Oh, okay. It's everybody's got a different
And the
one.
women
Okay.
get
I
drafted
was like,
to have their
I was
asshole
like, I
eaten.
hope. I was gonna say, I hope that lady likes it if it's just the same lady.
Imagine that's like a Black Mirror episode. It's like people are choosing to do the lady's asshole, and little do they know
Yeah.
that there's a draft on the reverse end for the asshole that is going to be eaten. So there's a ladies draft, and then they have a whole proposition
Wow.
on how to get out of their draft, and there's a whole
Yeah.
layer to it. You know.
Wow, that's actually that sounds like an R-rated Black Mirror episode. You know, could make it. Wow.
The answer is, generally speaking, yes, conditionally. But for you, if you were to say now, it would be yes or no, or ass or no ass.
Ass or no ass, deal or no deal, ass or no ass.
Final answer.
I'm leaning towards the ass. I think. Yeah.
Leaning ass on this one.
Yeah.
I'm ass leaning. All right. That was great. Very controversial. This is
Controversial.
You know,
It's
your country is watching.
Mm.
Here's who's the bitch.
Okay. Me or you? That's what it's gonna be.
Do you think we're in charge of the internet, or is the internet in charge of us?
Definitely the latter.
I don't feel in any way in charge of the internet.
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
definitely the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, like, especially stuff that just happens. I mean, so, like, let's just take the flavor of the week controversy. Let's just take the Hogwarts Legacy stuff that's been going on. Like, the mob that's out there, the mob on that internet that is just indiscriminately going out and harassing people. It's just, it's insane.
I didn't
It's
know that
like,
people were harassing people.
what's that?
I didn't know that there was harassment going on.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, it's been a huge, it's been a big deal.
I heard
Like
there
streamers-
was, there's like protesting it and people getting mad of people streaming it, but I didn't know there was actual harassment.
No, yeah, like it's been online. It's basically just cyberbullying at this point. Like people who stream it, like it's probably quieted down by the time we're recording this now. But I mean, it has been like bigger streamers or like VTubers that have tried streaming it, like bigger name. I mean, there was one, Silvervale is her name. She like went on a stream after the time that she'd streamed it. She came on stream and like was talking about it, and she was like sobbing, like trying to explain herself, like why she had streamed it and like why like Harry Potter is so important to her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, it's just sad. Like, it's just sad that like that to me is proof enough that the internet controls us more so than any one of us are in control of the internet. I think that's kind of makes it scary in a lot of ways. There's a force almost more so than a link of all people. It's a frightening place to be.
Yeah, I mean,
As
the internet just kind of
as
defines the culture now, right? It's culture defining, or like a lot of society is moved and dictated by the internet. So in that way, definitely,
yeah, not
we're the
not to
bitch.
say that there isn't any good that comes out of it. Obviously, we wouldn't be having this discussion right now if it weren't for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So, boom, right there.
Boom.
But yeah, we're definitely the internet's bitch.
Myth
That's for
busted.
sure.
Next we have the chef. Controversial.
Oh,
You're at a hip, fancy restaurant. You just tasted the best food you've ever had in your whole goddamn life. The best. Now you're done. The chef comes over and says, I hope you enjoyed your meal. I'm a Nazi. Hail Hitler. Uh-oh. Was that still the best food you ever tasted?
yeah, yeah, it would be.
Uh-oh.
I don't think I'd probably eat there ever again because I don't want to support this
I
man.
won't give him a
But that
positive
doesn't
review.
change yeah. I probably just wouldn't leave a review.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave a review. Well,
Um,
I'd go as far as make a negative review on that one. You know, if you're going to
Yeah,
tell me
maybe.
I'm a Nazi, Hail Hitler at the end of the meal.
Yeah, to be like, yeah, I'd go like 1 star. Be like, this is the
Those were the
this is
best meal I've ever had, but
goddamn
Hitler.
food I've ever had in my life.
But run by
but-
Nazis.
But it's run by a Nazi, so please do not go here, please.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean that's not really that controversial to me.
Well, yeah,
Like,
if it was the best food I ever had in my life, I would definitely never mention that fact. I would keep that to my grave. It was like that was horrible food. Do not go there. All right.
I mean, like, chances are you've had your food made and served by people who do not agree with. Probably not Nazis, but you probably.
Chances are you had a
Chance-
Nazi as one of your chefs.
Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance.
Stat I saw the other day. It's like
There's a non-zero chance that you've had.
One in two of Americans have had their food made by a Nazi at some point in their lifetime. It's crazy.
It's possible, but
yeah.
yeah.
Uh oh. It's an uh oh moment. You're just elated.
Whoa.
You're on cloud nine.
Yeah, like
the
that.
best meal of your life, and he just drops that bomb on you.
He just comes out to tell you that. I love how he does that. It's like the cherry on top of the sundae. That's amazing.
Typical Sunday. All right, this is called As Perfect as Pizza. All right, let's think about pizza. It's a perfect, harmonious trio of cheese, tomato, and bread. Each ingredient brings out the best in the other ingredients. Pizza is so delicious and perfect it makes me want to cry. Now, do you think it is possible for a polygamous marriage to be just like pizza, where every spouse brings out the best in the other spouses? All right. So
Okay, that took a turn I was not expecting.
So we're talking potentially 3 spouses in a marriage. Do they each bring out complement each other perfectly?
I'm a hot take here and say no.
Is that a hot take?
I don't think I know. Is that a hot take? I don't know.
In saying so.
This is very brave to say that. No, I mean I think there's a reason why like instances of polygamous relationships throughout history have not never really worked out all that well.
And it's usually instances of polygamous marriages are like benefiting one of them a lot more than the others. It's like
significantly more, yeah.
It's like for that person. So yeah, we're talking ideal world. It's like these 3 come together. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Is it possible for a polygamous marriage to be just like pizza? Like one single marriage? I don't even know. It'd still be hard to sell.
I mean, so like because things like this are popular these days, like your open marriages and your like your relationships of like, oh, we're in a throuple or whatever. But it's like
Thruple.
those are things that you hear thruple. Those are things you hear people say, but like there's never like a follow up on that. They're like, we're in this, but it's like, but how long is this going to last for?
Yeah, I've never really
Right?
heard of like success story of like these three people are married and they just like stay married. It's usually
Yeah.
like I've heard of like instances of like there being a relationship or maybe a marriage, but it's not like a long term thing. It's just like, wow, do you believe this happened? These people got married, or
Human beings have hard enough time communicating with each other, like to with another person. Like one other person is hard enough like really be intimate with, like, and I don't mean physically, I mean like emotionally intimate with. That's difficult enough for one person to do with another one person. You try to do that with two people, good luck. And the thing is like good luck for everyone being equal
every interaction,
part of each other.
Yeah.
No, that just doesn't. I don't buy. Yeah, I don't buy that could really work out in the end.
Yeah, because
I mean,
most instances of polygamy that I've heard that are like successful long term are just like open. Well, like not non-monogamous. It's just like open marriages where it's just like they just kind of sleep with whoever, but come back together. Right. To some extent, it's not like I've just never heard of it. Maybe there is a story of like these three people married and they stick it out together. Like,
yeah, it's not something that not something that I've ever encountered. I don't personally buy it. I feel like if there is the case of there being a quote unquote success story, a pizza of that happening,
the classic.
I feel like there is some there has to be, I feel there has to be some sort of like emotional like lenience, or like I'm trying to think of like the right way to say it. It's like stepping back, maybe like allowing or like protecting the other person emotionally by like being like, yeah, we can be in the thruple this way. And I feel like, yeah, I guess I don't really know how to explain it, but it just seems to me that like if that is an instance, there's someone that's not being perfectly honest with themselves in that regard.
I agree. It's like there's some sort of sacrifice being made, whether they want to admit it or not. It's like, it's like, well, like all these things, there's going to be a lot of things adding up. It's like you don't like this about it, and it's just like, well, I'll just kind of shelve that for the greater good of the throuple, because they seem happy, or it's like it's gonna be a weird dynamic there.
Yeah, well, that's also what I mean too, because like paired relationships are already heavily sacrificial. Mm-hmm. Like they're all supposed to be based on the good, like doing stuff for the other person, for yourself, but for the other person at the same time. Like relationships are all about compromise and all about sacrifice and all about love. Like that is what love will cause you to do. And it's just like, that is extremely difficult to do for one person. You know, why do you think divorce rates are so high? That's hard enough to do for one person. I can't even, again, and maybe this is just the fact that like maybe your brain has to just be a certain way. Maybe you have to be like on another plane of existence. But like, I just don't think we're as a species are not hardwired to be able to do something like that. So,
right, I was gonna say the same thing. It's, well, specifically for me, I'm not hardwired that way. There's like most people are not wired that way. But there are just a few exceptions that can make open relationships work. Yeah, they have to be wired a very specific way to where they're like they're not jealous. They don't get jealous, and they like don't find the same like for physical connection. It's just not as like emotional or intimate as it is for most people.
Right.
In that way, that can work, but for a throuple, I just don't see it. It's a lot different to maintain that long term when it's hard enough to have two people maintain an open marriage long term.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree.
I like the pizza, the tie-in though. It's pretty cool. This is, oh boy, that's cum dumpster.
Oh, but really? What
Oh boy, here it comes.
Okay, here we go. Here it
NSFW.
is.
We already didn't we
we
already
gotta
have a
have cum.
question? Was that a hypotheticals actually? There was like the one about a guy who was doing more. Which one would you rather marry? A guy who like just has people come in a bunch of dumpsters, or one who like emits tons of gas like from factories or something? You remember that?
Oh, I don't. I don't remember. I don't remember that.
All right.
It feels like another one of these. It might have been.
I think it was actually hypotheticals though. Is there any circumstance under which a person could use the phrase "cum dumpster" and you would think more highly of the person than before they said "cum dumpster"? If so, describe the circumstance.
A circumstance in which someone would say the phrase that,
in which it would make
and then
you think
of them
more highly of them after they had said it.
I would say maybe as like using it like not using it to actually legitimately describe somebody, but using it as like a point of humor or like mockery. Like not to be like, oh, she's a cum dumpster, but like to I using it in a clever and or humorous way would be like the only way I would think of that. But even then, it's like would I think of that person more highly? Probably not. I would be like, oh, okay, that was clever and that was fun.
It's like
funny.
politics. Politics is like the cum dumpster of society. Am I right?
I think less of you now.
It's hard to get. It's an interesting conundrum here, where it's like,
no.
How do you? I don't see how it would make you think more highly of them. That particular phrase, because
why do we call it a cum dumpster? Why is it not called a cumpster?
It hits different when you say full on.
I guess it does. Yeah.
Like that is visceral. It's raw. It's like
Yeah.
imagery.
True.
Out the wazoo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot.
My answer is no. I don't think it's possible.
To think of someone more highly after using it, no. Yeah, I feel like you'd have to have a large group of people to even begin to come up with an idea as to how, why and how.
They need a whole think tank on this.
Yeah, basically.
Let's come up with a perfect circumstance to maybe.
The perfect circumstance. You use the phrase "cum dumpster," and I think more highly of you.
Final question of the evening. It's called the dog hole, and it's pretty stupid. Is the tag? So boy.
All right.
Come on down to the dog hole. We got dogs. We got a big hole. The dogs are in the hole. They love it. You love it. We all love it. It's a fucking national treasure. Say it with me now. Everyone together. Dog hole. Say it again now. Dog hole. On a scale of 1 to 5, how happy are you to have experienced the mind crusher called the dog hole?
Honestly, I'm like a 3.
It's a 3. It's a 3.
It's like a 3. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just like imagining. It's like there's dogs and a hole. The dogs are in the hole and they love it.
They love it. You love it.
You love it. Everyone loves
treasure.
it.
Wow.
It's a national treasure.
Scale of 1 to 5.
It sounds fun. It sounds cute.
I give it a 2.5 on it, but I respect it.
Yeah, I respect. It made me giggle. It made me chuckle.
And that's
the
show. All right. Well, thank
you. That's it. All right.
Joining us for another episode of Mindcrushers. There were some good ones in here. I like the thinky ones actually.
Yeah. Those are good this time around. That's pretty good.
What's your favorite installment in this episode?
I liked thinking about the politics one. Was actually like surprisingly interesting to sort of think about.
It is good. I do like the way out of the draft. I do like that one.
That was actually surprisingly interesting. Yeah.
Really thought provoking. Yeah.
Thought provoking. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
Cool.
Let us know your favorite mind crusher. All right.
Yeah, down below. You let us know. What would you do? Would you do that to avoid the draft? Let us know, and give your reasoning as to why you would or would not.
Yeah.
Um,
And
Jack,
try to use the phrase "cum dumpster" with your answer.
that's right. Use that, and if you can, we won't probably think very highly of you after you use it. But hey, you could try.
I'd like to see you try.
Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, what should the fine people watch after they're done seeing this?
They should go watch Hypotheticals. I wish I knew what one it was with the cum dumpsters. It might have been Supertheticals.
Might have been.
I'm lost, actually.
Tough, yeah.
Supertheticals number 3.
Okay, do it up.
Good times.
Woo!
If you want more of like Mindcrushers, but like an emphasis on the thinky element of it, definitely check those out.
Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, click the link in the description for our social media. Come dumpster.